Channels Television. Network Africa, the rallying point for the emergence of a new Africa.
On Network Africa this week, is the security situation in Nigeria getting worse? What implication does the Ebola virus have on Guinea's economy? What does the future hold for Oscar Pistorius? And since when do crocodiles go green? That's what we'll be looking at on this edition of the program. A blast in Abuja leaves 75 people dead and 122 injured.
I thank God that I'm alive, because the only thing, my own case is a minor case to compare with other people's own. Because yesterday you can see dead body, you can see so many things that happened yesterday. I was like, those people that are doing this thing, are they human beings? Do they have humanity in them?
Just as the nation struggles to recover from that dastardly ordeal, 129 girls are abducted from the northeastern part of the country. Then is Oscar Pistorius using his emotions as a cover-up? Well, that's what Chief Prosecutor Gary Nell believes.
I can't imagine the pain and the sorrow and the emptiness that I've caused you and your family.
Also, the Ebola crisis might now be under control in Guinea, but it has indeed affected the economy. And on the lighter side of life, crocodiles are eating healthy now. Find out why the reptiles are going green. Hello and welcome to this edition of Network Africa with me, Cynthia Are. Things started off on a very bad and bloody note in Nigeria this week. At about 6:45 in the morning, a bomb went off in the Yanya Park in Abuja, the nation's federal capital territory, leaving 75 people dead and 216 others injured. In this next report, we take a look at how that terrible ordeal took place and also hear the accounts of some of the survivors.
Eyewitnesses say a suicide bomber drove a red station wagon into Nyanya Motor Park and detonated a bomb which hit luxury buses and other vehicles. Many residents living in the outskirts of Abuja usually take small buses or motorcycles to neighboring bus terminals, such as the one hit by the explosion, to catch government buses into the downtown area for work. Anthony Caban, who witnessed the ordeal, said the explosion occurred at around 6:25 a.m.
What I saw is that there are about more than 500 people, because the L5 buses were all filled up at about 7 to 8 L5 buses. Those hawkers on the streets, those selling, those going to work along the roadside. Let me say, I can't even give, but the estimate I can give to my own, I think there are more than 500 people.
Police, fire engines and ambulances arrived at the explosion site about half an hour later. It was such a terrible incident that the president rushed to the scene and then paid a visit to the survivors.
Along with our countrymen and women, we continue to work very hard. The issue of Boko Haram had lovely history. Within this period of our own development, government will do everything to make sure that we move our country forward. These are the unnecessary distractions. Pushing us backwards.
Survivors of the rush hour blast in Nigeria's capital described the ordeal. Samson Odo described the moment when the blast ripped through the bus station.
The thing exploded. The fire was on me much. I fell down. So suddenly I get myself a bit, and when the breeze, it used to be like a wind, a heavy wind after the fire. So when that one was going on, so I get myself and I get up and was running.
Ogeke Desmond counts himself nothing short of lucky to be alive.
I thank God that I'm alive, because the only thing, my own case is a minor case to compare with other people's own. Because yesterday you can see dead body. You can see so many things that happened yesterday. I was like, those people that are doing this thing, are they human beings? Do they have humanity in them?
Anxious relatives were still waiting outside the hospitals for news of loved ones that they have not been able to locate in hospitals. That was when the Director General of the Emergency Management Agency for the region, Abbas Idris, pleaded with them to be patient before being able to reclaim the bodies of loved ones.
There are processes put in place. Those who are mutilated beyond recognition are going to, the police are going to carry forensic tests and then identify the family before they are handed over. But those ones that are really identifiable, and then if the police are certain, there are processes in which the hospitals are asked to really follow so that they can be able to release the corpse once they are convinced beyond reasonable doubt.
No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but officials blame the explosion on Boko Haram, a sect which has been responsible for major killings in the West African country since 2009.
Now, just as the nation struggled to recover from the loss, another incident occurred in Chibok, Borno State, in the northeastern part of Nigeria. This time, about 200 final-year students of Girls Government College Chibok were the targets. They were abducted by gunmen who stormed their school in the dead of the night, ordering all the girls out of their hostels into 4 lorries. The raid lasted from about 9 p.m. on Monday to 3 a.m. on Tuesday. The incident was one of such great concern that it was a major issue for discussion by delegates at the ongoing national conference.
When the conference resumed plenary, another matter got the attention of delegates: the adoption of schoolgirls in Borno State.
The attack on the hostel in Chibok was confirmed. Residents in the area reported hearing explosions, followed by gunfire last night. Many girls were abducted by the rampaging men who stormed the school in convoys of vehicles.
Where the state government spent, each of the states in Borno and Yobe spend nothing less than 200 million every month to maintain the police and the joint task force in their area. Don't talk about what the federal government is bringing. That in a situation we have these people, a convoy of people will come in every time, commit atrocity and go back, then there must be something the matter.
The delegates put forward different recommendations as they considered what they say is a national issue.
We need assurance.
Please.
From the president who said this good process in motion, to say that there must be an end to this Syria insecurity challenges.
That most of these problems are not being perpetrated by Nigerians alone. I think we are being invaded, and it is to me a state of war.
That we send a very strong signal from this conference that we ourselves are not safe as long as Nigerians are being slaughtered, and we need to bring this conference to a halt until we see change.
That we should advise the president and the government to immediately close the border between Nigeria and Cameroon. That's my first suggestion, Mr. Chairman. Secondly, Niger. The two laws, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon.
Well, thankfully, Nigeria is not alone in the fight against terrorism, as the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, James Entwistle, has reassured Nigeria that the U.S. will assist the nation for the fight.
Well, first of all, let me condemn Monday's bombing in Abuja in the strongest possible terms on behalf of the American government and the American people. Our hearts go out to the victims and to their families. It's a horrible thing. And we stand with your government more strongly than ever in its fight against terrorism. We have a very strong security relationship with your government. Training, equipment, sharing information, that kind of thing. That relationship will only grow as time goes on. We work very closely too, sharing the lessons we've learned on fighting terrorism around the world, sharing those lessons with your government, with your security forces. So you may not see it out in public every day, but I can assure you it's a very close relationship.
After the break on Network Africa, the trial of the decade continues with forensics expert Roger Dixon continuing his testimony at the Oscar Pistorius murder trial. I'll have the details for you shortly. Do join me again.